Last year, we introduced you to Tristin Castro, a Vanden baseball player who had just begun his fight against cancer.
After a valiant and grueling battle, Tristin is back on the diamond. Brian Mueller checks in on the courageous Vanden senior a year later.
Baseball had been a constant in Tristin Castro's life.
I think it's how long I've been playing, and just like it's what I've been raised on. I've been playing since I could remember.
A sport that also offered an escape.
When you're playing baseball, there's a lot to think about, and so you're not thinking about, oh, I went through this, I went through that. You're thinking about what's happening right now.
But it wasn't long ago that the familiar sounds of the game were replaced with a disconcerting soundtrack.
It was really tough, mentally and physically, having to deal with being diagnosed and having to leave my team. It really it hurt me.
When we met Tristin last spring, he had just been diagnosed with cancer. Doctors found a 2.5-inch tumor behind his right eye that spread to his lymph nodes.
When we got the news at first, I just remember breaking down to tears, just like all the emotion coming through.
Tristin immediately started chemotherapy. Meanwhile, the Viking baseball team rallied around him, holding a Tristin Castro Day at Vanden. But it was then that the real battle began. A month-and-a-half stay in a San Diego hospital, where Tristin had to fight for his life.
We saw him fight, so we knew we had to stand up for him as well. We couldn't be the ones being sad when we saw him fighting. Not really seeing him was very hard for not just me, but our whole family.
Literally the week after he left, that's when things kind of started to decline with Tristin, and just because he was getting both his chemotherapy plus radiation on a daily basis.
The grueling treatments took a toll on Tristin's body. He was too weak to walk and lost his appetite. 150 pounds at diagnosis, Tristin lost nearly 40, more than a quarter of his body weight.
I also don't really remember much that happened, because there was a period of time, 2 weeks I was good, and then the 2.5 weeks that I was left there, it was really hard. My body went through a lot of changes and I couldn't deal with it. A lot of the times I was like, can I even do this?
It was tough. On a daily basis, it was really tough to get through, because you never want to see your child go through anything like that. Just seeing him lay there and not be able to help him.
But Tristin did have help, not only from his family, but his baseball family as well. The team got him through his toughest times, watching the games from his hospital room and FaceTiming with the team after.
I liked watching the games, especially the section game. I was on FaceTime and I was watching, and even though it was sad, it felt good to watch them.
A lot of our success last year was bigger than the game of baseball. When you have a team that has a collective goal and mindset of not only winning a championship, but fighting for your brother, it kind of carried us to where we were last year.
I will always be grateful for Coach Ryan Adams and the Vanden Baseball Club for what they did for our family and Tristin. Coach Ryan, he was there for Tristin big time. Made our journey a lot easier.
Part of that journey came to an end in late May when Tristin rang the bell following his last radiation treatment. Tristin returned home and finished his last chemo treatment in December. Tristin had won.
After Christmas, I said I really did it, and it felt good.
He fought through all the radiation, the chemotherapy, and to be where he is now, he's truly a walking miracle and inspiration to all of us.
Tristin is doing a lot more than walking now. With 1 year left to play high school baseball, he wasted no time getting back on the diamond.
I was kind of like, don't worry about baseball right now, let's worry about your health. His whole mentality was, I want to get back on the baseball field. Finished chemo December 15th and was back on the baseball field practicing in January.
Which leads us to March 3rd, 2023, Tristin's first game back at Vanden, batting leadoff for the Vikings.
All right, welcome back to number 7. Everybody on your feet. Come on back, Tristin Castro.
Less than a year after being pushed in a wheelchair onto the very same field, Tristin walked in his first at-bat.
Just a lot of emotional thoughts going through my brain. To be back on this field, to be back with the team that I've known for a while now.
It was an incredible feeling. It was a feeling that, that's exactly where he wanted to be. He never lost sight of baseball. Baseball has always been his end game, to be able to go back on the field and be where he was at last year.
Now all those familiar sights and sounds of the game are back for Tristin. A chance to play with his brother one more time, and his Vanden family.
He's on the field playing, smiling. It makes me happy knowing that I get to play baseball with him one last time in high school.
Tristin is still working his way back physically, but mentally, he feels a cut above where he used to be.
Mentally, I'm way past what I was. I feel like I've become more and more mature throughout my journey, and I'm very thankful for that.
For a 17-year-old kid to go through that and overcome that, he looks through probably a different lens of life than most 17-year-old kids. You know, he was brought to the challenge and he rose to the top.
Wiser, stronger, battle-tested. Good qualities to have for a sport where you fail more than you succeed. But no matter what challenges await Tristin, after winning a fight for his life, he'll probably feel like a walk in the park. Reporting in Fairfield, Brian Mueller, 49ers Sac-Hi Sports.
Tristin has just finished his physical therapy sessions, and his goal with the Vikings this year is to win a section championship.
Yeah, I think his victory is much bigger than that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very nice to hear.